brand new AKS cluster, what I have deployed it. If I wanted to connect to this AKS cluster, right? How exactly you do it? Just click on this bit, connect. Okay. Then click on this bit. Then let us go and run this bit. Okay. So what it does is it sets a subscription. Our My Beginner Academy subscription, it sets it. The command, if you see, AZ stand for Azure account set --- subscription, and this is our subscription ID of our Beginner Academy. Yeah. So once you run it, so why do we need to run this? In actual work, so we will be working on a multi-subscription Azure subscription account, right? That is the reason if you wanted to work on a specific AKS cluster on a specific subscription, then you need to set it up. Okay. So if you run another command, so this is to set the subscription. The next command is this command. It in order to get the credentials, right? From my laptop, programmatically we need to connect to our Azure Kubernetes service, right? So that is the reason this particular Azure command we will run it. Az AKS get credentials --- resource group. In this resource group, I am created my AKS cluster called as a demo AKS. Okay. So let us use that and append --- in order to get the admin credentials. So this command will go and download. You see, it merged demo AKS admin account into this particular kubeconfig file. Okay. So now if I run kubectl get node minus stand for output, wide stand for a wide uh, wide information it will give you. Okay. If you're a cricket, if you know about a cricket, right? So cricket wide is wider, wide, right? So ball goes out of the other side of it, right? So similarly here we get a further information about our node. Okay. Not only node, any Kubernetes resources. If I do get a node, few columns, right? Few columns and only 2 rows, right? So in case of a wide, you will get a multi-column. Okay. So now let us see any Kubernetes cluster, any pods are running in our cluster. Okay. So this Kubernetes cluster, it has been brand new, right? So there should not be any pod running. If I see pods, right? So no default, no resource found in default namespace. That is what it says, right? So now let us go and what we will do is we can test it out this this particular EKS cluster by running one container, one pod. Okay, I will say Sangam --- image equals in X typo our pod. It is container is creating. Okay, so in order to, if you wanted to watch it, just say watch. Okay, so it will be keep on watching it. It is not required much time because within 10 seconds itself it has made our Nginx pod up and running. Okay, so let us go and delete it off. Pod Sangam. Okay, we don't need it. Okay, so now as as part of our this document, I mean in this session, we will be talking about a Helm chart, right? How exactly Helm chart we from the scratch we can create it and deploy it to our AKS cluster. Okay, so let us find it out. What is Helm? Okay, if you type Helm the browser, right, you would be able to get this particular website. Okay, as the name itself says, it's a package manager for Kubernetes. So it's solely built for the Kubernetes itself. Okay, when we say package manager, it makes sure mean, it helps all the different Kubernetes resources, right? It makes sure that all those different Kubernetes resources groups under one particular chart. Okay, uh, using one chart, it is bit easy for us to create it, update it, version control it, and publish it, and delete all the resources at once. Okay, so if you remember in the MySQL example, right? So we were creating multiple. We have created a multiple YAML files. Okay, and then in order to apply one by one, you have applied it in order to create it. Okay, so in order to delete it, the same pattern in the reverse pattern, we need to go and do it. Okay, uh, instead of that, what we can do is using a Helm chart, right? Whatever the application you wanted to deploy in our real projects and all, right, we try to use Helm chart itself rather than using YAML file. Okay, it is it helps you in manage the complexity, as well as easily updates. You can do it. What you can do, if else condition, can do a value and overriding of a values. You can do it. You can roll it back. Okay, there are so many options are available within the Helm. Okay, so you may ask me, what is the difference between kubectl commands and Helm commands? Okay, so that Helm is in our regular work, right? In order to deploy your application, Kubernetes application, we try to use Helm. Okay, so it is not a replacement of a kubectl command. Okay, along with kubectl commands, we try to use Helm. Okay, it is kubectl plus Helm. Okay, that is what in real work scenario we use it. Okay, so how to install it? If you are on Mac, do it like this. Okay, or Windows, you can use chocolate. If you're in a chocolatey, you can install use chocolate, right? Or what you could do is there is a binaries, you will get it. Okay, so you can download those binaries and install it. Okay, it is a exe. Okay, you need to keep it in a environment well set a environment variable. Okay, a particular path, if you keep it, that if your environment variable, if you set it from any commands, you should be able to run the Helm. Okay, so now if you wanted to search, if you click on this chart right at the top, okay, you can find the known chart available over here. Okay, so if I wanted to type Jenkins, right, the Jenkins chart is available. Okay, so all these are Jenkins charts. Okay, it's readily available. Okay, you can use those chart. So if you wanted to see it, click on that. Okay, if you wanted to install it, right, so you go to the template, you could see what all the files are present. Okay, um, all the Kubernetes, in order to run this particular Kubernetes cluster, right? Sorry, Kubernetes, in order to run Jenkins on a production grade environment, right? If you use this chart, all the relevant configuration, everything, it will be there on the one chart. You need not worry about the taking up of a backup, RBAC backup, everything it is done within this chart itself. Okay, as a whole, you will get it. Okay, so now let us go and create our own chart. How exactly you can do that bit. Okay, so now let me do one thing. I will create one folder, mkdir helm, say today date 18th June. Okay, go inside that. If I see here, there are no files are present, right? So now we wanted to create a first Helm chart. Okay, I will, if your Helm, once it has been installed, right, the Helm software, so if you enter a Helm, you should be able to see all these options. Okay, if you are able to see, that means that your Helm is installed on your laptop successfully. Okay, if you don't see it, then check it out whether that exe is in a particular path or not, in Windows especially. Okay, if not, put it there, it will work as smoothly as possible. Okay, so now let us go to the Helm first. Okay, so I'll give you an example why we are going for a Helm. Okay, so what is the use of that? So if you see here, let me go to the backend. So if you could see here our case, right? So we have, in order to install any MySQL, okay, we need to run these many files. Okay, in order to install only the MySQL itself. Okay, so we need to create a config map, couple of secrets, then within the deployment we have a service and the deployment. Literally 5 Kubernetes resources we need to install and in a sequence order. Okay, these all the things you need to run. If you are using only kubectl commands, YAML commands, right? Kubectl apply -f and this file name we need to give it in order to install it. Okay, so it is bit difficult for us, right? And again, if you don't want it, if you wanted to uninstall it, right? So you need to one by one you need to uninstall it. So that is the reason what we can do is we can package all these things inside a one MySQL chart. Okay, so with that one, within a one command we can run all the MySQL chart, MySQL resource, all the 5 resources, Kubernetes resource, you can create it using one command. Okay, that is the reason we try to use Helm charts, as well as the same chart we can use it for a different environment. Okay, if you require, let us take one example. So think that you are planning to uh, start a one company which serves a deployment of websites, right? So in order to deploy a website into any environment, right? So you require the popular one is a WordPress site, right? That has two components. One is a WordPress site installation, and second one is a database installation. Okay? Any blogging site or any website, if you wanted to run it, these two are minimum required softwares. Okay, so if you wanted to think that some 10 customers ask you to create a blog site for them, right? So you can't go and copy paste these services in a if it is a 10 customers are asking, it doesn't mean that you will go create a 10 projects, right? We in DevOps world we follow a concept called as a try concept, meaning do not repeat yourself. Okay, so what that means is if you have a 10 customer with one values file, you can run 10 different application. Okay, if you require a 10 MySQL database, you won't be creating the same 4 files, you won't be copying it in 10 times, then it becomes a 40 files, right? Maintenance, it will become a headache. Okay, rather than that one, what we do is we use a one Helm chart and 10 values file, so that we can use we can pass the name of the or override the name of your database as per your client or a customer. Okay, so those are all the main advantages. Okay, there are a lot of advantages of why to use Helm. Okay, uh, probably some other day I can take another deep dive session inside that, but as of now let us go and create a one Helm chart. Okay, so what I will do is, if you see here, we don't have any Helm chart in my local laptop. Okay, if I wanted to create a one Helm chart, so Helm itself gives us a boilerplate for us. Okay, we'll say Helm create, I will say just Sangam. Okay, you can give any name. So if you run this command, what it says is creating a Sangam. Okay, if I do a ls, there is a Sangam folder as has been created. Okay, if I go and do Sangam cd into Sangam, if I do a ls, right, ls lrta, you would be able to see it has created a chart.yaml file, values.yaml file, templates folder, charts folder. Okay, so if you wanted to see it, okay, so this is the Sangam let me see where exactly I have created. It is on the Helm folder. Okay, Helm. Yeah, if you see here, this is the folder. Okay, Helm underscore 18 June. Okay, So under this is the any charts, right? It will be the same format, it will be present. Okay, we will be having a chart.ml file where the name whatever we give in this particular command, right? Create Sangam, this name it will pick it up and keep it here. Okay, this is the version of our chart. Okay, this is the application version of our chart. Okay, so in this template, right, what all the things it will be there by default? It will be having a deployment.ml file. Okay, HPA. HPA stands for a horizontal pod autoscaler. Okay, ingress. This also it will be created. Okay, service as well as service.account. Okay, with one command it has created all these boiler template for us. Using that we can build upon our Helm charts however we want it. Okay, so in the values.ml file we mention our image. Okay, in this case it has created the boiler template has a template called as a nginx. Okay, so this code it created a nginx chart. Okay, when we run this particular command helm create sangam, it created us this boiler template which is for a nginx. Okay, nginx is a web server. Okay, now if you see here how exactly we can run this particular chart. So if I say helm space ls, it is not showing us any of the charts. So currently our AKS cluster is brand new. It doesn't have any charts installed on it. Okay, and there are no pods also presented, right? Get pod, if I do, nothing is present on the default namespace. Okay, so now let us go and install this particular Helm chart. Okay, so you see here it says replica count is 1. Just have a note, just remember about that. Okay, let us go and say Helm install. I will say Sangam nginx x. Okay, say in. Okay, so where exactly is my Helm chart is present? Okay, it is in this same directory. That is the reason I will say dot. Okay, I will in order to install it, what we need to say, and what we need to say is helm install sangam-nginx. This name you can give whatever you want. Okay, and the next is a where is the location of our chart. In my case, it's on the dot. That dot means the present working directory. If I do that, if I enter it, it will go and create a it will go and deploy our Helm chart into our AKS cluster. Okay, so if you see it has status, it says deployed. Okay, now let us using Helm command, let us go and list it out. Okay, if I do Helm ls, you could see Sangam nginx revision is 1, it has status is deployed. Okay, that is what it is saying it. So if I go and run the same command kubectl get pod, would be able to see our Sangam nginx pod has been created. Okay, so how it got created? It's basically when we run the chart, right? It goes to the template folder, okay, and picks up all the values from here, and overrides inside these templates folder, these YAML files. Okay, these are all resources. Okay, so if you see here, it says this is the if condition it has been given. Okay, if values ingress is enabled, then only you could go and create it. Okay, so I will check. You can check in the values.yaml file. If you see ingress enabled, we have given it as a false, meaning this condition is not satisfied, meaning it has not installed this YAML file itself. This ingress Kubernetes object itself, it has been not installed it. Okay, not created it. Okay, so there are you can refer this you can create this Helm chart and you can refer it. Okay, if I go to the next, right, so if I do Helm ls, right, so you should be able to see our chart name. Okay, so now currently we have only one pod. Okay, think that due to some reason, uh, this particular website, a hell lot of people started accessing it. Okay, because of load, right? It is unable to render the our website itself. Okay, there is a performance issue. Okay, so now you wanted to scale it up from currently from 1 to say 10. Okay, so how do you do that? So click on values.ml file. It says replica count equals 10, 1 as of now. That is the reason 1 pod. Okay, I will say 10. Okay, how exactly 10 it will be created? So if you go to the deployment.ml file, if you search this replica count here, okay, here if you see 9 replicas, in line number 9 replicas values dot replica count, meaning it has been variableized, this value. Okay, so it is expecting values, that is from the values.yaml file, that is a default file. From there is a replica count, that is this one, whatever the variable value it has been mentioned. In this case it's a 10, so previously it was 1, that is the reason replicas equals 1 it was created. Okay, now I am making it as a 10. Okay, because of my website became a popular, and everyone is started using it. I don't want to have a bottleneck for my website. Okay, that is the reason I have increased my pod. Okay, so now you see here, uh, qctl get pod, only one is there. Okay, so now I need to, instead of install, we need to upgrade our Helm release. Okay, I will say upgrade. Okay, if you run this particular command, what it does is it upgraded it. If you see here, revision equals 2. Okay, if I do the get pod now, if you see, there are 10 pods it is getting created. Few are already created, few are still running it. Okay, if I go and see kubectl get po, you can see all the 10 pods it has been created. The first one was 4 minutes 25 seconds ago. The other all are 19 second ago it was created, right? So in this way you can scale it, your pods or your application, using one small command. Okay, so now think that due to whatever reason, okay, so your Kubernetes cluster, okay, this particular application, now there is a load has been decreased. Now you wanted to reduce the pod numbers. Okay, say now it was 10 was there, I wanted it to be 3. I will say 3. Okay, then the same command. If you see the same, the last command was upgrade. Okay, and if you see the ls, right, you would be able to see the revision as 2. Okay, so I wanted it to be upgraded again, our Helm chart. Okay, in this case, the third case, it is what we have done is we are rolling back from 10 pods to 3 pods. Okay, let us go and run it. So if you see, revision 3 has been increased. If you go and check the pod, boom, right? So only 3 remaining pods it is up and running rather than 10, right? Within a quick 5 minutes, 5 seconds itself, it didn't took it. It was made sure that whatever we requested, right, those many pods only it brought it up, right? Okay, so now as a next step, what we need to do is, this is on the sample application which we deployed it. Okay, now what we will be doing is, our testing it has been done, whatever we were supposed to deploy it. Okay, so now we don't want our Helm charts or application anymore. This project is scrapped, think that. Okay, so unnecessary, if you wanted to delete it one by one, it is going to take a lot of time. Instead of that, what you could do is, using Helm, what you could do is run the, instead of upgrade, you just say install. Okay, opposite of install is uninstall. Okay, helm uninstall and the release name. If you see, it has been uninstalled. If I go and check the pod, gone. Everything is deleted. Whatever the Helm chart has created as part of this particular charting, right? So if you could see, deployment was there, service account, all the resources within a one command itself, within a fraction of second, it got deleted it. Okay, this is the beauty of our Helm plus Kubernetes. Okay, so now as a next step, what we will do is we will we'll create another Helm chart. Okay, and we'll convert the boiler template into our MySQL database. Okay, so let us do that. The command is helm create. Okay, I will say MySQL. Okay, so if you see the MySQL folder, it has been created. I'll go to the MySQL. Okay, so those other files. So readily MySQL is also available, but we wanted to modify the existing one. Okay, so then what you could do is click on here. Okay, so what you could do is we don't want other files, okay, for reference. So what I will do is I will delete off all the templates it has been created. I'll delete it off. Okay. So now I will go to my backend. Okay. I'll pick my configuration related to all the files it was required, right? Whatever we have created for our application, that I will paste it over inside the template. Okay. So now if you could see, we have a config map, our deployment, as well as our root password, the user password. Okay, this service.yaml file I'll try to keep it outside. Okay, that is not required for us. Hit copy. Okay, so now if you see, the chart remains the same. Whatever default it was available. What I did was I took all the YAML file which we tested in the previous sessions. Okay, those YAML files I kept it in a templates folder. So as of now, everything it is hard coded. Okay, so we will override it using variables. Okay, that we will learn it in another couple of 10 minutes or 5 minutes kind of a thing. Okay, so what we will do is we will deploy as is. Okay, so yeah, this template we will here. Okay, so if you see, it has same files, right? Chart.ml file, values.ml file, service.ml. Okay, so now what we will do is helm. Okay, if I do ls, nothing is there because we have deleted our nginx one, right? Now what we will do, helm, the command is helm install. We will say MySQL SQL, and then where is my chart is present? That is in the present working directory. I will say enter. I will say dot. Okay, and I will enter. So if you see, what it has done is helm ls. It has created our chart. It has deployed our chart. Okay, we'll say qctl get pod. Okay, if you see, it is creating a container. Okay, so apart from that, if you wanted to see get cm is db config, 20 seconds ago it was created. Okay, similarly secrets db user and root password, it has been created 30 seconds ago. Okay, apart from that, deployment has been created 42. The same timing it has been increasing. Okay, so what is the use of Helm? It groups a multiple Kubernetes resource into under one umbrella. Okay, for your project, what all the resources has to be created? If you tell keep those YAML file under the template, Helm will manage it. Okay, now it has been deployed, right? So let's go and check it out. If you see, it is in a running state. Okay. If you wanted to log into this cube or pod has been running, so what you could do is run the command kubectl exec stand for execute it pod name /bin /bash. If I do that, now I am inside the container of our MySQL. Okay. So if you wanted to check it with whether it's working fine or not, just say MySQL minus u stand for a username, root is root, minus p is password. So what was my password? Check the password here. It is admin@123. Okay. Now if you see, I've logged in. Okay. /c here. We'll say show databases. Okay. It says all these files it has been deployed. Okay. It has created employee DB, and these are all the default databases of our MySQL. Employee DB is our DB, what we had asked it to be created. So where exactly you could see in the config map. Okay, if you see, this is what. If you could have changed the name, it will create by that name. Okay. So now our we have checked it out. Okay, our MySQL database is running on successfully on our Kubernetes cluster. Kubernetes EKS cluster. So, and we have checked in, we are logged into the container inside the pod, right? And it is working fine for us. Okay. So now think that the example which we took earlier, right? So we wanted to customize the same MySQL chart for 10 of your customer. Okay. So in that case, what we need to do is you variabilize all these the names. Okay. So how do you achieve that? In this is the example. Okay, the format I have kept it. Okay, so I will copy this format. Okay, so if you see here, what we can do is just change wherever MySQL is there, just replace that with the values file. Okay, the this kind of a thing we call it as a variableization. Okay, we'll say variable substitution. Okay, so what I'm doing is wherever MySQL is there, I am making it as a values dot name. Okay, I'll copy this name, mentioning it in our values.yaml file. Okay, I will say here the name currently by default it is MySQL. Okay, if you want something else, you can change that bit. Okay, I will say the name. I've copied it here. Okay, wherever MySQL is there, I can change it. Okay, MySQL deployment apps. Okay, this image let it be seen. Okay, other than that one, change it. Okay, add a password as well. For password as well, this is the name of our secret. That also we try to append our values.username. Now we have variabilized it. Okay, name also we have set it as MySQL, right? So if I search MySQL of the MySQL here, okay, in this way you can do a variable substitution. Okay, so once it has been done, config map also, let us go and modify it. Say it is okay. So wherever MySQL was there, we have changed it. Okay, case sense. Yeah, it looks fine. Okay, password is fine. Config map. Password is also fine. Also fine. Okay. So now think that I wanted to create a new for a new customer. Okay, I will say Sangam is another customer. Okay, I'll create another values.yaml file. I'll say Sangam. Okay, so for that the name is the name what I wanted is Sangam hyphen MySQL. Okay, the replica account let it be 1. Okay, only I've changed the Sangam.mysql. Okay, now we wanted to create a Helm. We wanted to run this Helm chart. Okay, the command is Helm install MySQL, and here I need to pass as a -f stand for a file, then value hyphen sangam.yaml. Okay, if I wanted to enter it, enter this. Okay, the same name here, Helm ls. Already MySQL name exists. I can't reuse it. Of that, I will say okay, MySQL hyphen sanga. Okay, valid. There are few conditions are there. Okay. Cannot like this. Like there should not be any space. That there was a failure was there. It has been fixed. But how do you handle it? Have to okay. So now we will go and install it again. You see, it says it has been deployed. Okay. If I do a ls, if I do a kubectl get pod, be able to see Sangam MySQL has been up and running 10 minutes ago. Okay. Now think that need another MySQL. Say, let us say for a dev and production, we want to install it. Okay. How do you do that? Copy this, paste this here. Instead of values.sangam, I'll say dev. Okay. So here I will say dev MySQL. The dev.yaml file, right? Values.yaml dev values hyphen dev.yaml file. We are changing the name to dev.mysql. If once it has been created, we will go and install instead of Sangam, I'll say dev, and the name I will give MySQL dev. You enter it within a fraction of few seconds itself. Our dev, it has been created 3 seconds ago. It is up and running. Okay. So similarly, our if you wanted to do a production or test environment, you can create one YAML file, override the whatever the name should be there. That detail you mention it out. You should be able to deploy it. Okay. So now the similar bit we will extend it. Okay. So how exactly we can deploy our backend website, right? So let us do that bit. So go one folder above and we'll say Helm create, I'll say backend. Okay. You check it. It has created a backend folder as all folder for us. Okay. The same exercise. Delete all the templates, whatever it has been present. Just click on delete. Done. Okay. Go to the spring dot hyphen deployment. Okay. What we were using it earlier. Use that. Copy that. Okay. Paste it in inside this template. Okay. In this YAML file, what we are doing is we are creating a service. Okay. Then we are creating a deployment. Okay. Here the image which we have built previous commands, right? That is what it has been using it. Okay. So what for in order to refer the DB host, it is referring a DB config file. Okay. For the host and the database, right? DB name, it is expecting a DB. It is picking from the config file. Let us go and check it out. We have those config file or not. ACM, right? You'll see we have a DB config file. So it should be fine. Okay. So now all these things variables, it is picking it from there. Okay. So what I will do is I will go and I kept the Ping our backend application here, okay, which has a deployment and which has a service. That is what we require. Okay. So I will say cd backend. Okay. So then the simple command for us is the simple command to install this Helm install command is just say Helm install the backend, okay, and give a dot meaning current working directory. If I enter this, you will see the backend application has been deployed. If I say Helm ls, would be able to see the backend has been deployed. This is a first version. Okay, it has been deployed. So let us go and check the kubectl get pod. If you see our employees app database backend application, it has been deployed here. Okay, so it has been up and running. Okay, so let us do a kubectl get pod again. It is giving the error. So let us triage this particular error, what it is giving us. kubectl describe. We will be facing issues here and there. Okay, you should be prepared for that. Okay, it says has been out. Okay, uh, okay, there should is unable to restart it. Okay, so see. So what we will do is this machine which we have taken, it is very small machines. Okay, so it's already multiple MySQL commands are MySQL databases are running. Let us delete a few of the bits which is not required for us. MySQL 1 should be fine for us. Okay, Helm uninstall. Okay, my then last this should be, you see backend and MySQL is only two are running. Okay, go and check our pod, get pod, just crash backup loop. Okay, some database related issue have came here. Logs if man, the last time also we got this error, right? Okay, what we did was 20th May we had built another new image. Okay, Docker hub. Okay, like this, the tags 4th June, right? This is the working tag. Okay, so like we faced issues in the past, right? So that is the reason we built a newer image. Okay, so we will change here. Okay, and what we will do is Helm install. We'll upgrade it. Upgrade our Helm chart. Okay, so these kind of issues we will be getting it. It is not a we should be able to analyze the issue, okay, and fix it. Okay, we'll say Helm upgrade in directory, that is dot we need to give. Small mistake. Okay, it's all happens. Okay, so if you see it has been deployed, kubectl get pod, if you say the older one it is getting deleted, the newer one it is getting created. Okay, so we will give it a couple of seconds, we'll watch it. Okay, if I okay, it has started, we'll give another 10 second. Okay, sometimes what it will happen is there are any issues, it will get restarted. Okay, so in this case we will just check the logs. Okay, so that we can understand it is working fine correctly. Okay, otherwise it will error out in the logs. Okay, logs, you see here it says Tomcat has been started. Okay, so it is able to interact with the database. Okay, so yeah, so looks fine for us. Okay, exe, okay, okay, root for database password, we will copy that. We have logged in databases, the our employee DB. Okay, they show tables. Okay, if you see employee table, it was automatically created. Okay, meaning our application is working fine. So we'll exit it. Okay, so now if you wanted to test your application, right, kubectl get svc, if you do it, okay, this is our Kubernetes service. It has been up and running. Okay, now think that you wanted to test your application. Okay, so how you can do it, you can use proxy password or port forward. Okay, port hyphen forward svc slash svc name. So 8080 application, it is running on 8080. So we will also learn 8080 itself. 8080 colon 8080. Okay, we'll enter this. So if you see, our application is accessible on my local host. I did a port forward. So let us go here and check localhost 8080. If you see, our application has been hosted. Okay, if you wanted, our application is up and running using our Helm charts. Okay, so if you wanted to test it out, I will say I will use Postman. Okay, so the command we will run this. So we'll say first name is 18th June, right? 18th day state. So send that. You see, first record it has been created. If I do go and refresh it, the data has been created. Okay, in this way, now this particular application is right. It is hosted on our EKS cluster. How you can check it? Go for namespace. You can go to the deployment. Okay, events. It should show all the things. Whatever it has happened, it will show you. Okay, if I go to the workloads, if you see our deployment, it has been running 25 minutes ago, as well as this one as a 11 minutes ago. These are all our pods, okay, our deployments. Okay, you click on pods, would be able to see our MySQL and our checked a particular namespace, be able to see our two pods. It has been up and running, right? So this way, we deploy using Helm charts our application into AKS cluster. Okay, this application is running over the internet now. Okay, currently it is running services cluster IP. If I see here, sorry, node port it is running. Okay, we can change it to external IP and you can access it. Okay, probably in the next week session we will access this bit. We will how exactly we can configure our front end. Okay, via DNS name and pointing it to external IP and accessing this application. We'll try to run that bit. Okay.